You having a good time? All right, coming to the stage right now, give it up for Brother Curtis. Brother Curtis.
I remember the first time I heard the name Minister Farrakhan. It was spring of '88. And I can remember it like it was yesterday. Because I was going to see my homeboy DJ Slice in the studio. Well, it's not really a studio, it's like his room at his grandmother's house. But homeboy had 2 turntables, a mixer, and a microphone. And when I entered the room, he was mixing Farrakhan. Like a follower of Farrakhan, follower of Farrakhan. Don't say you understand until you hear the man. And I was like, who is Farrakhan? And just like serendipity, everything lined up. On the speaker was the autobiography of Malcolm X. It's like I discovered the Holy Grail. And I remember taking this book to the library. And I couldn't really read as good as I can now, but I remember just looking at the book. And I would read a few paragraphs, and I would fall asleep. And I would read some more, and I would fall asleep. And yeah, you know, I would read some more, and I would fall asleep. When I look back, it took me almost 3 months to read that book. But I knew in my heart that in this book, there was some transformative power. And at the end, I would be different. And at the end, I knew I wanted to be Brother Curtis X. And if I got that X, that my whole world would change. So I became hungry for the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I asked everyone in my hometown, hey, where the Muslims at? And they would say, they're over there in Homewood. And I would run to Homewood, no Muslims. And they would say, I think they're in that library on the Hill District. And I would run to the library on the Hill, and again, no Muslims. I think I took about 1.5 years searching for the Nation of Islam. And I said, forget it. I'll go hang out with the Sunni Muslims in the masjid. But that really didn't work, brother minister. I never really could grow a beard. And they changed my name to Dawood Abdullah Muhammad and started calling me Aki. But you know I wanted to be Brother Curtis X. Yeah. So I remember one day, I'm hanging in the projects in Pittsburgh, and his brother pulls up in his little hoopty, and he steps out. And this brother's like 7 foot tall, a slick brother from Baltimore named Brother Patrick. Some of y'all may know him. And he said to me, black man, Muhammad's got a job for you working for NOI security. I said, you mean I could work and get my ex? Please, sign me up. And for 2 years, I worked for NOI security, eradicating drugs and gangs. And when I say gangs, it was the heart of the Bloods and Crips warring in my city. But the people looked at us like we were angels. And I had a top squad. Some brothers from DC, Brother Darrell, brother by the name of Al, and his brother named Ronald. He had just got out of the Loring Correction Facility, and he was built like a cobra, cut up like a bag of dough. Every time they see us, they would move out of the way, like the Muslims is coming. And we were so cracked and ready to exact, they used to call us the Supreme Team. And attendants, they loved us because we were cleaning up drugs in the community. But the drug dealers, not so much. But I want y'all to remember the Nation of Islam don't carry guns, so we're in the projects, ain't no guns. But we wasn't selling a lot of bean pies that summer, but we were serving up a whole bunch of knuckle sandwiches, you heard me, right? And it was serious.
Now what happened was we became so productive. They started breaking up my squad and sending us to other housing projects. And I remember they started bringing brothers in from Buffalo and Chicago, but they wasn't cracked like we was. And I remember that summer, it was really tense. And I started feeling a little insecure because my team was gone. And that's the summer that I got shot. Now, if anybody ever been in that situation, it makes you start thinking and reflecting on things. I had to see some wise counsel, so I went to one of my Muslim brothers, and I ran over and said, "Salaam alaikum. Beloved, thinking about leaving the nation, I think I want to go to college." And I remember the brother looking at me and saying, "Black man, all you need is the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad." I said, "But Black, you got a degree." And he turned to me and he said, "You heard me. All you need is the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad." And I said, "Yes, sir." And I was hurt. And I was wrestling with things. Do I stay with the nation? Do I go to college? And I decided to go to college. But I didn't stop organizing. I didn't stop working and serving my people. Man, I was recruiting so many people on the college campuses. They made me the vice president of the Black Student Union that year. And I was there. And I remember a brother pulled up selling the Final Call newspaper. And he said, "Brother Curtis, Farrakhan needs your help. We're going to have 1 million black men march on Washington, D.C." And I was like, yeah, this will give me my chance to get back on my post, not join the nation, but feel like I was giving a service and duty to my people. So I started recruiting again. I joined the local organizing committee. And we started organizing a bus trip. And it was exciting. It was easy to really recruit people when they thought it was a parade. But when the threats started coming, the Klan started coming. And they said, if Farrakhan is going to organize 1 million black men, we're going to shut it down. So I started thinking, I know my bus is leaving at 2, but there were some elders, their bus was leaving at midnight. So at 10 o'clock, I was in the bushes, all black fatigues, Tech 9 on one hip, 9mm in the other. And at 11 o'clock, I step out of the bushes on some Tupac stuff like, if I die tonight, I'm dying in a gunfight. I was like 22, so I was young, black, and strapped like Chia Lee. I was like, yeah. I didn't say a word. The elders walked past. We affirmed. But they got on that bus safely. And I can remember going home and changing into my red, black, and green because I wanted to get on my bus. Is that right? So I got on the bus, and for 2 hours, man, we were building, we were talking all the way to Breezewood. And if anybody that came out of the Midwest, down that Pennsylvania Turnpike, Breezewood is that travel plaza, is that midway. You know that, it's a little hick town in the mountains. Ain't that many of us. But this day, when I came through, man, there was black men pouring out of buses and vans in cars, and it was exhilarating. I seen brothers from Cleveland, and I met brothers from Chicago, and I met some brothers, they had to be from Detroit because they had some non-later gators. I said, those are those brothers from Detroit. But it was exciting. Everybody was Muslim that day. Peace, black man, salam alaikum. We turned the whole hick town into black town. And I remember riding those other 2 hours to our nation's capital. And I was saying, if the mall is anything like this. And when we got to the mall, and I stepped out for that bus, and I looked out, and I seen a sea of black men as far as you can see. I seen the brothers that were alphas and kappas. I seen some Qs and some sigmas. I seen some brothers with the 5% Nation flying the universal flag, and they were in their ciphers like, peace, God. It was exciting. I even see the Moors with their flags saying, Islam, Mo. I seen Crips and Bloods and Vice Lords. And when I looked out, I just stopped and said, oh Allah, if there's a heaven for a black man, whoo. I said, oh God, if there's a heaven for a black man, I hope it feels like I felt on October 16th of 1995. Long live the spirit.